Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Funky Like Feathers, and I'm going to be telling you what books I am reading for the month of October. Before we get started, let me know down in the comments if you are participating in any book clubs for like the rest of the year. Is that something that you like to do? Let me know because I love book clubs. They're how I get a lot of reading done. So let me know down in the comments if you are doing a book club of your own. So we are starting off strong here. The first book I'm reading for October is The Exorcist. So I'm actually reading this for a library book club, believe it or not. So far it's going okay. I have to say it is better than the movie. The movie was terrible. There's something totally different that happens in the book that actually explains the plot a lot more. So if you haven't read the book, I strongly encourage you to do so this month. I am slowly working my way through The Body Keeps the Score. This is kind of a classic. A lot of people have read this, especially if you have a history of trauma of any kind or are working through health concerns. This is actually a really great book. There is a lot of information in this. It does get kind of thick in some places just because of how dense the material is. So take your time going through this one so you really get the most out of it. Like I said, I am working my way through it. So this next one is actually the book for my online book club, Book Nerd University. So for the month of October, we are going to be reading Small Town Big Magic. So far, I just started reading this today. It is a nice, comfy, cozy kind of read. There is a little bit of magic thrown in there. I'm really excited to read this one, especially because things get kind of hectic during the holiday season. So this will be a nice little change up. If you want to join Book Nerd University, you can actually do so on my Patreon page. The enrollment for the university is $10 a month, and we meet every last Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So this is a lot of fun. We do talk on Zoom, so we all get to kind of sit there and talk. If you are local to the Woodlands area, you can actually get a copy of our monthly book club books at a bookstore called By the Book. And this month I actually hid some of my holographic stickers in the books on the shelf, so make sure that you stop there and get your copy. So the next book that I am reading is one that I have listened to before, but I'm working my way through it again. It's actually by an author that I really enjoy reading, and it is called The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. If you haven't heard of Richard Dawkins, I don't know how, but I am actually a big fan of his work. He has a lot of really intriguing information in his books. I've also read The Selfish Gene and a couple of his other ones, so I've got them up on my shelf as well. So like I said, I'm working my way through this one as well. A lot of fun. Next up, we have Belladonna. Now this is actually the naked hardback. I take all of the dust jackets off of my hardbacks, and this was a very pleasant surprise underneath. And then the back has this really gorgeous picture. So if you haven't taken the dust jackets off your hardcovers, see what's under there. Actually, there's a lot of them that look pretty cool. My kid read this for a YA book club, and she suggested that I read it so that we could discuss it as well. So I'm going to be reading this too. I listened to the audiobook on this while I'm at the gym, so it just kind of makes it go by faster. For a book club at By the Book, I'm going to be reading this little gem, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm actually really excited about this one. I was going to do this for my online book club this month. However, she wasn't sure if she was going to get copies in, so I had to go with something I knew we could get in time. So I am really excited to read this. Again, it's supposed to be kind of a cozy contemporary with a touch of magic kind of thing. So this should be a lot of fun. For another library book club, we have a walking book club that we do. And this club isn't going to be until next month, but I wanted to go ahead and get started on it. It is Dry by Neil Shusterman. This is about like the world running out of water, and all the water gets turned off and all the crazy stuff that happens because of this. I am also going to be teaching this on outschool.com. So I've got that class coming up later this year, but we're not going to be doing it until late November into December. So it'll be awesome. I'm so excited about this. Neil Shusterman is one of my favorite YA authors. For my teen book club right now, we are reading The Final Gambit, which is the last book in the Inheritance Games trilogy. This has been a wild ride. So there is a ton of stuff that happens in this trilogy. There are puzzles upon puzzles. There are layers upon layers of information, and so many weird things happen. So far, it's going all right. I have to say, the first book so far was my favorite, but we're getting a lot of things kind of rolling the ball on this one as well. So I'm kind of excited to see how this finishes off. Okay, only 2 more books here. So second to last, we have The Night and Its Moon. This is by Piper CJ. She is known for her TikTok channel where she discusses a bunch of folklore because she happens to have a master's degree in folklore. So this is an intriguing story. You can see that we have the 2 different hands reaching out. That's because one character is like completely white, and then the other one is, her name is Nox. So, you know, think about it. But it's really interesting. It follows 2 different friends who met up at an orphanage and kind of what their story is afterwards as they get split off into different lives along the way. So it's interesting seeing how this is coming together. I also like seeing how, you know, different people that we just kind of know because of influencing, how they do with their work. I do wish that this had gone through one more round of edits because there are some very basic editing mistakes that are throughout the book, but I have to say it's still been a lot of fun. I'm about halfway through it right now, so it's going really well. I'm excited to see how it finishes. All right, last but not least, this last book is actually one that I have read multiple times. However, I'm going to be using it as a resource as I plan for NaNoWriMo coming up next month, and that is The Secret Garden. So this is kind of a classic children's literature here. Again, not very long, but I annotated it while we were reading it for my young adult book club online. And this was a lot of fun. And I thought, what would it be like if the Lady Janies had written The Secret Garden? I read a lot of the Lady Janies. I just finished my Imaginary Mary. That was a lot of fun too. So, and it talked about Mary Shelley and Ada Lovelace. So that was a lot of fun. But in My Contrary Mary, they actually talked about Mary Queen of Scots. And I thought they were going to be talking about Contrary Mary from The Secret Garden. And they didn't. So now I want to read The Secret Garden as if it were written by them. So that means I just have to write it then. So that's what I've got going on as far as my reading this month for October of 2022. Let me know what it is you guys are reading. I would love to hear from y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, you guys.